We've talked about toxins in our environment, but how do we remove them from our bodies? While preparing this video, I received a news video on X of a boy who had autism, but after a few years of rigorous detoxing from all heavy metals, he is no longer autistic. It's hard to imagine, but you are going to learn that heavy metals and environmental toxics are responsible for a lot of human diseases. A second focus will look at the top 3 toxins in the cosmetic, food, industrial, and medical industries so that you can try to avoid them. I'll also have links in the description to studies supporting the information in the video. I recently did a video about aluminum and other heavy metals that have accumulated in our body due to our environment, including vaccines, some other injectable drugs, processed foods, cosmetics, and cookware. The fact is that there are toxins throughout our lives and consequently throughout our bodies, the buildup of which can cause many chronic illnesses. This video is in response to a comment by our beautiful Patricia Crosby, searching for the best way to detox from all these poisons that have built up in our bodies throughout our lives. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up, and the algorithms will think that you like me. Subscribe so that we can hit 100,000 subscribers and I won't let you down. If you want to support the channel further, please browse the items I've chosen in the shop button, and there is always the super thanks button that is also a big help. So let's take a look at Patricia Crosby 5053 comment, and then we will address the best way to remove these toxins being stored in our bodies. I'm sure many will relate to her concerns.
Excellent as always, thank you. I've read over the years articles on aluminum. Yes, it is everywhere, and now you're exposing it in places we never thought of. Avoiding it or removing it from our bodies is the next act. I hope that once it's addressed more openly, people put pressure to have it removed from all sources. Huge job. RFK Jr. has a huge job on his hands. I knew about cooking pans, utensils, cans our foods are processed in, aluminum foil, which might be used daily as well as deodorants. Add vaccines, especially with the increase amount given from 1950, even earlier, to what's required today, 2025. It's really so important for all industries to address why it's used, how it's used, where it's used. Is it better stainless steel pans, utensils? Use wooden utensils? Go back to glass jars and containers when processing our food? No aluminum. Was cardboard wax containers better? No nonstick pans? What about lead in makeup? Guess we're being hit at all angles. Please address natural detox or other methods we can use to help ourselves. Thank you in advance.
Patricia nailed it. How do we prevent toxin exposure and subsequent disease in a world where it's nearly impossible to avoid them? And even more importantly, how do we remove them from our bodies naturally? I'm finding that apparently there are many versions of naturally, but in my world it doesn't include a drug, whether it's been approved or not and whether it comes from a plant or not. So that you understand, it's not relevant if something is extracted or derived from a plant. Digoxin and vinblastine, a powerful chemotherapy, was derived from plants. Madagascar periwinkle is wild where I live, and I have used the plant medicinally as a topical before, but that doesn't mean that I would ever recommend that anyone ingest vinblastine without an oncologist. Secondly, when medicine is in a plant, there are numerous additional alkaloids that were put there to complement the active ingredient. Whether by soothing the stomach or the heart, true herbs are not one drug, but a symphony of nature's chemicals working in harmony to protect the body. If you aren't taking ground herbs, you are not receiving a purified version devoid of the beneficial alkaloids. I'm not saying that never taking supplements is necessary. I'm just saying that there are a lot of degrees of natural, and anything you can do to live and eat more naturally is better than relying on product manufacturers to be ethical and know the long-term effects of their product. The body has an amazing ability to remove toxins. The problem is the toxins that are lipophilic, which likely get past the blood-brain barrier. Since these substances are lipophilic, they love fat, so the more you've got, the more you can accumulate. I responded to a comment about detoxing the mRNA vax, and it's very similar to things that help you lose weight. Sweat, exercise, hydrate, etc., but we are going to examine how this occurs a little bit deeper. Decreasing exposure goes a long way with the body. I can tell you this from experience when I was exposed to petrochemicals and dispersants in the BP oil spill. The body will eliminate them. I had black, sand-like granules that came from my tear ducts for months after I did a detox. My mind is so much sharper than it was after the spill, and I absolutely know we can remove this junk from our bodies. And we should attempt to remove them before they cause some serious medical condition. The toxin load is cumulative, so if we can cut as much of the poisons as possible out of our environment, the body will slowly begin to eliminate what's in us. Briefly, let's talk about utensils because Patricia makes such a valid point. What are we supposed to cook in and eat with? Let's look at cookware. Our best options are stainless steel, which is non-reactive and durable. There's also cast iron, which is naturally non-stick when it's seasoned free of harmful coatings. And enameled cast iron has no leaching of metals, making it excellent for acidic foods. Glass or ceramic cookware such as Pyrex is 100% non-toxic. Avoid Teflon non-stick coatings, which are forever chemicals. They are very bad. Aluminum and aluminum foil due to neurotoxicity concerns. And unlined copper cookware due to copper leaching. Next, let's look at utensils and your best options to avoid toxins. Wood such as bamboo or olive wood is non-toxic and biodegradable. Silicone, food-grade, BPA-free is heat-resistant and flexible. Stainless steel is long-lasting and safe. Avoid plastic utensils which can leach BPA and phthalates. Also avoid non-food-grade silicone utensils which may contain fillers. Patricia was right on this one also. Glass containers such as Pyrex, WEC, or ball jars don't leach any chemicals. There are stainless steel containers such as lunchbots and U-Conserve which are durable and safe. And there is a wonderful natural option to plastic wrap. Beeswax wraps are reusable and come in pretty patterns. I will link some of these items in the description for you with my Amazon shop. Plastic containers, even BPA-free, can still leach chemicals over time. Plastic wrap in bags often contain endocrine-disrupting chemicals. Avoid plastic storage containers, even BPA-free, because they can still leach chemicals over time. Also, plastic wrap in bags often contain endocrine-disrupting chemicals. Now let's turn to how we can remove what's already in our bodies. The first thing that you should know that it is primarily fat-soluble toxins that are a problem. Water-soluble toxins can be eliminated by increased fluids and pH adjustments. Few supplements will do this. Fat-soluble toxins require different detox pathways, such as bile production and fat metabolism. A comprehensive detoxification regimen should support multiple organs including the liver, the kidneys, the gut, skin, and lymphatic system to cover both water-soluble and fat-soluble toxins. Water-soluble toxins can include medications, pesticides, and fluoride are stored in the blood and the urine. They can be removed by the kidneys or liver and via sweat. Fat-soluble toxins include plastics, heavy metals, and pesticides, and they are stored in fat cells and organs, including the brain. Their primary elimination channels are also through the liver via bile and the skin via sweat. But the gut also eliminates fat-soluble toxins through the stool. Vaccines have their own set of toxins, from aluminum to formaldehyde to thimerosal. Many toxins have both water-soluble and fat-soluble toxins, so after we discuss the requirements of each, I've put together one detox that should cover everything. The length of time you should detox is determined by what you are trying to remove and how much you have in your body. A mild detox lasts for 7 to 14 days for general toxin clearance. A mild detox is appropriate if you already eat clean, drink filtered water, and use non-toxic products, and if you have had no recent heavy metal exposure such as mercury fillings, aluminum cookware, or vaccines. And if you have limited exposure to plastics, pesticides, processed foods, and pollution. A deep detox takes 30 to 90 days for heavy metals and persistent chemicals. Beware of anyone who says you can do it quicker. You should do a deep detox if you have chronic symptoms of fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, bloating, rashes, or headaches. Also, post-vaccine or other heavy metal exposure such as mercury, aluminum, or lead. If you are new to detoxing, you might want to do a mild detox first to avoid strong detox symptoms. This will allow the body to adjust before trying a deeper detox. You might also consider a deep detox if you have had long-term toxin accumulation through years of processed foods, pollution, plastics, or medications. Or if you have hormonal imbalances such as estrogen dominance or thyroid issues. Toxins can affect endocrine function. Once you have completed the detox program, you should follow a clean lifestyle and repeat detox periodically for maintenance. Now let's look at what we have to do. I will cover detoxification of water-soluble substances separately from fat-soluble toxins for clarity. Then I will give you a detox regimen for both. Water-soluble toxins are easier to excrete through urine and sweat, so let's find a few of them. Fluoride is found in tap water, toothpaste, and some processed foods. Chlorine and chloramines are used in water treatment and can form toxic byproducts. Glyphosate are pesticides and herbicides which are commonly in non-organic produce and grains. Pharmaceutical residues such as antibiotics, hormones, and drugs in various sources including the water supply. Factory-farmed meat and dairy products. Soil and crops that have been fertilized with contaminated wastewater or manure. And fish and marine life that absorb pharmaceuticals from contaminated rivers and lakes. There are also some heavy metals that are water-soluble such as lead, arsenic, cadmium, and water, which is found in old pipes, soil, and industrial waste. I need to clarify that the same heavy metal could be water-soluble or fat-soluble depending on the salt used. Mercury is a great example of a heavy metal that can exist in both water-soluble and fat-soluble forms. Mercury chloride is water-soluble, while methylmercury is fat-soluble. Increasing water intake and maintaining a certain pH can help with detoxification of hydrophilic or water-soluble toxins. You should drink 1/2 your body weight in ounces daily. For example, if you are 150 pounds, you should drink 75 ounces of water a day. Alkalizing your body is very healthy overall. There are even studies that indicate that some cancer cells are inhibited by alkaline environments. So eat alkaline foods such as leafy greens, cucumber, celery, and lemon. When you are detoxing, you should support your hydration with electrolytes such as coconut water or mineral drops. I skip the sugary electrolyte drinks with more toxins and opt for coconut water or Pedialyte. Now let's look at the more concerning and more difficult to remove fat-soluble toxins. Mercury found in dental fillings, seafood, vaccines, and industrial pollution are a big one. Bisphenol A, BPA, BPS is found in plastics, and canned is another tough one to eliminate. Then there are phthalates, which are used in fragrances, cosmetics, plastics, and processed foods. Dioxins and PCBs are industrial pollutants found in fish, meat, and dairy. And lastly, persistent organic pollutants or POPs such as DDT and PBDEs are found in pesticides, flame retardants, and household dust. Aluminum is mostly water-soluble, but can accumulate in the brain and bones. It can also be flushed through the kidneys, but excessive exposure from cookware or deodorants may require chelation support. Mercury is fat-soluble and bioaccumulates in the brain, liver, and fatty tissues. It requires chelators like cilantro, chlorella, and alpha-lipoic acid, ALA, for safe removal. We will discuss some natural chelating agents. Removal of these poisons requires additional measures to remove them from fatty deposits. Before you believe that having a low BMI means you aren't affected, you should know that my largest concern in the fatty layer that protects nerve cells. Sweating promotes the release of toxins stored in fat, and infrared saunas penetrate deep into tissues, helping to mobilize metals. Activities like high-intensity exercise and intermittent fasting can help break down fat, releasing stored metals. Dry brushing and lymphatic drainage help circulate lymph fluid, moving toxins out of fat stores. This is as simple as bathing with a loofah sponge. Once mobilized, metals must be bound to prevent reabsorption. Natural chelators for aluminum and heavy metals include silica, also known as orthosilicic acid. Drinking silica-rich water, like Fiji water, has been shown to increase aluminum excretion in urine. Cilantro helps mobilize metals, while chlorella binds them for safe removal. Modified citrus pectin, or MCP, is a natural binder that helps remove metals from the body. Fulvic and humic acid found in shilajit assist in detoxifying heavy metals. My favorite is activated charcoal, which absorb toxins in the gut and prevent reabsorption, but don't overuse them as they can interfere with nutrient absorption. For medical chelation, EDTA chelation therapy is used by doctors for heavy metal toxicity, primarily for lead and mercury, but it may help with aluminum as well. DMSA, or dimercaptosuccinic acid, is a prescription chelator that binds to metals for removal if you have symptoms of toxicity. The body eliminates toxins primarily through urine, sweat, and stool. We have talked about increasing urine through hydration and alkalinization, and as much as you may not like it, we all know how to break down fat. So now we are going to talk about how to increase stool production to get that fat-soluble stuff out of us. High-fiber foods are key. They bulk up stool and promote movement. Adding flax seeds and chia seeds form a gel-like consistency to ease passage. Leafy greens such as spinach, kale, and Swiss chard provide magnesium, which relaxes the intestines. I love berries, all kinds. Blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries are high in fiber and antioxidants. Healthy fats lubricate the intestines. These healthy fats are avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, and nuts and seeds like almonds, walnuts, and sunflower, which provide both fiber and healthy fats. Tim and I use Udo's oil on salads and with a shot of Bragg's vinegar. Natural laxatives are prunes and figs, papaya and pineapple, which contain enzymes like papain and bromelain that aid digestion. Aloe vera juice soothes and stimulates the gut lining, but I haven't been able to embrace the slimy taste in many products. Lastly, oats and psyllium husk are available commercially in products such as Metamucil, which softens stool and supports gut motility. So if you are breaking down that fat through exercise, it's important to eat substances that will cause your body to produce more stools. I want you to realize that keeping these toxins out of your body is not a 7-day supplement. It's a lifestyle of awareness and foods that help your body eliminate them, and there are many more choices than the few that I've outlined. There are some supplements that can support detox, but I have to say that natural foods and fat breakdown is the safest and most effective way to do it. Rather than opting for only herbal removal, which can be incomplete, I will lay out a 3-month deep detox program to clean out these poisons once and for all, and then it's going to be up to you to minimize exposure to stop future accumulation. This deep cleanse blueprint will last for 2 to 3 months and will effectively clear both water-soluble and fat-soluble toxins. Phase 1 is creating the foundation for detoxing and will last 1 or 2 weeks. The purpose of Phase 1 is to prep the body by optimizing your detoxification pathways for both toxin types. First is hydration. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water each day to flush water-soluble toxins such as arsenic and ethylene oxide via the kidneys. Add lemon to alkalinize urine, which will aid in metal excretion. Your diet should be based on whole foods such as leafy greens, cruciferous veggies, and berries. Do not eat processed foods, which will only add more toxins. There are a couple recommended supplements at this point, including N-acetylcysteine at 600 milligrams a day. This conjugates fat-soluble toxins. Vitamin C at 1,000 milligrams per day acts as an antioxidant and supports kidney flush of water-soluble toxins. Next, during this phase, it's important to sweat to begin getting those toxins out of the fat. A sauna or exercise for 30 minutes, just 3 times a week, will mobilize lipophilic toxins, and you will begin elimination through the skin. During this first month, you can expect to feel possible fatigue, mild headaches, or skin breakouts as toxins mobilize. You should also notice increased urination, bowel movements, and sweating as the body starts eliminating toxins. Phase 2 is a regimen for weeks 3 to 6 and will focus on moving fat-soluble toxins and trapping them with charcoal. Now we boost our diet with a fat flush to include avocado and olive oil. Also, you should add fiber such as chia or flax seed at 30 grams per day. Alternatively, you can add Psyllium Husk at 5 to 10 grams per day. Your supplements will change a little this month. You will increase your activated charcoal to 1,000 milligrams per day in split doses on an empty stomach. You can take this with fiber to move it out quickly. So if you are using Metamucil, take your 5-gram doses of fiber on an empty stomach with the 500 milligrams of activated charcoal twice a day. Drink an extra 8 ounces of water with these supplements. Garlic and cilantro are metal chelators, so feel free to supplement with these foods. There are 2 additional supplements that you can add in Phase 2. The first is milk thistle at a dose of 150 milligrams per day, which supports the liver for fat-soluble toxin removal. The other supplement you can add for these 3 weeks is Chlorella at 1 to 3 grams per day. This helps bind metals such as arsenic, and it is synergetic with charcoal. Lastly, you should sweat more during this phase, so increase the sauna or your exercise to 30 minutes 4 times a week. This second phase is healing and restoration. You could notice an energy boost as your toxic load decreases. Skin, digestion, and mental clarity should begin to improve. And you should have less bloating and inflammation. Phase 3 is when we kick into maximum clearance of these poisons and metals. This is done during weeks 7 through 12. If you must, you can adjust the time frames on these phases according to your body's response. But I want you to remember that other than the additional supplements, your body can be more effective in cleaning out environmental toxins every single day with some basic lifestyle adjustments. If you stick with the detox for the entire 3 months, you will create new neuronal pathways and habits that will make a transitioning to a healthy lifestyle much easier than if you switch cold turkey. During Phase 3, we are going to refine the diet a bit to increase methionine, an essential amino acid that plays a key role in detoxification, liver function, metabolism, and antioxidant production. The body cannot produce methionine, so it must be obtained from food or supplements. Animal products such as eggs, meat, and dairy are high in it. Nuts, beans, grains, and soy are also high in methionine, but to a lesser extent. For Phase 3, you would have 1 gram per kilogram of eggs or clean fish. You should also drink a cup of dandelion tea each day to increase bile flow. Next, there are some supplements that I would add. First, magnesium at 400 milligrams a day for kidney and bile support. Also, begin alpha-lipoic acid, ALA, to chelate metals at 300 milligrams a day. Begin to taper the activated charcoal to 500 milligrams a day. If you don't hydrate and exercise or use a sauna, charcoal can cause constipation, so remember that moving fluid through and out of your body is critical. Your exercise should increase to 45 minutes 5 times a week. Now that your system is flowing, you will sweat even more. During this stretch, you should actually up the hydration to 3 liters a day with electrolytes because you will really be eliminating toxins. Month 3, you will begin to feel the full benefits and optimized cleansing. As the deep tissue detox completes, toxins are largely eliminated. Weight loss, hormonal balance, and long-term health benefits become noticeable. Sustained energy, clear skin, improved sleep, and stronger immunity is the result. Following this detox and removing these toxins and metals that you have accumulated can make you feel quite different. You can expect brain fog to begin to disappear, leading to sharper focus, better concentration, and reduced anxiety and depression. You'll likely feel lighter, more energetic, and less sluggish due to better mitochondrial function. Detoxing improves collagen production, reduces breakouts, and gives us healthier skin overall. Conditions like eczema and psoriasis may improve as inflammation decreases. Digestion will improve with better bowel function. Heavy metals cause inflammation, and detoxing reduces inflammatory markers, leading to less joint pain, muscle soreness, and stiffness. The decreased inflammation can benefit many conditions. Heavy metals and pesticides suppress immune function. Some people notice fewer allergies or seasonal sensitivities after detoxing. You might also experience weight loss, hormonal balance, and reduced PMS symptoms, improved sleep, and stronger nails and hair. To prevent reaccumulation, reduce exposure from aluminum cookware. Use stainless steel or ceramic instead. For antiperspirants, switch to aluminum-free deodorant. Minimize processed foods and baking powders. Choose aluminum-free brands. Use a high-quality water filter. I know I gave you a lot, but don't worry. I have the cliff notes to this deep detox regimen in the description of this video, along with journal references for the supporting information. I know it's a lot to grasp and hard to believe that our environment is making us sick, but it's true. The government has told us for years in publications that nobody reads. I am happy to report that RFK Jr. has created a searchable database under the HHS page where you can see the toxins in many different foods. It's called the Chemical Contaminants Transparency Tool, and I will link it in the description. It's important to realize that the levels in the charts are not the safe levels. They are the levels where the product becomes illegal. Another problem with the chart is that it really gives us no way or requirement for these test levels to appear on packaging, so we have no idea. It's a start and good for researching, but establishing maximums and enforcement are something else. At least somebody is looking at this problem, and these officials are demonstrating how hard this job of cleansing our world is. I'm going to wrap this up with a great quote from Ann Wigmore, a holistic health practitioner, nutritionist, and raw food advocate. She said, "The food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison."